On the last day of the Israel-Hamas war, an unexpected statement came from Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. The Ankara government, which has been in a state of great tension with the United States recently, has sent the first support plane for Palestine. Erdogan's statement, claiming that the Israeli government uses disproportionate force, has garnered the reaction of many world states, especially the United States. After the developments that caused the tension to increase between the NATO countries, the coalition of Muslim countries has taken the tension in the Middle East to a completely different level. The claims about who will lead the coalition formed by the Muslim geography, which explains that they see Hamas's activities as a legitimate defense against Israel, have stunned the whole world. On the sixth day of the war between Israel and Hamas, the Israel Defense Forces further increased its airstrikes against Hamas decoys in the Gaza Strip. The illegal paramilitary organization Hamas, which has been trying to carry out many activities within the borders of Israel for years, has paid a very heavy price for conducting airstrikes against Israel. Brigadier General Daniel Hagari, head of the Israel Defense Forces spokesman unit, stated that 3,600 Hamas points have been neutralized so far. In addition, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who accepted the offer of an emergency government from Israeli opposition leader Benny Gantz to improve border security, stated that they will continue the fight until Hamas is completely eliminated. Israeli officials announced that 750 Hamas militant positions were hit by airstrikes during the past night. During this process, many Western states, especially the United States, became a single heart against Hamas, arguing that the attacks carried out by Israel were a legitimate defense. On the other hand, Turkey, which is a NATO member like the United States, made assessments when it came to the last day of the war, which changed everything. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan made very striking allegations during his statement on October 13, 2023. President Erdogan, who interpreted the airstrike carried out by Hamas at the beginning of the war as a disaster, appealed to the Israeli and Palestinian governments for sobriety. Erdogan's rhetoric aimed at maintaining the policy of balance, emphasizing that neither the Israeli nor the Palestinian people should pay the price for the move of the illegal paramilitary organization Hamas had continued until today. However, speaking at the Istanbul Congress Center today, Erdogan raised allegations that Turkey's view of the war has changed, claiming that Israel has used disproportionate force. Erdogan, who said that the response of the Israeli army to the unjustified attack of Hamas was unwarranted, also criticized the direct involvement of the United States in the war. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who recently visited Israel, said, "I am not here in the capacity of a minister, but with a Jewish identity." Targeting his rhetoric, Erdogan suggested that characterizing this process as a Jewish-Muslim war will only increase the tension in the Middle East even more. Do you think that the war between Israel and Hamas could turn into a war of religions, as Erdogan claims? An unmanned warplane belonging to Turkey, which has been conducting a reconnaissance flight in Syria in recent weeks, was shot down by a U.S. Air Force F-16 fighter jet after receiving incorrect intelligence. The U.S. Armed Forces, which immediately issued a statement after the incident, stated that the attack was not organized in a deliberate way, but the reaction of the Ankara government decried the issue, which led to an increase in tensions between the two countries. Immediately after this process, President Joe Biden stated that the United States stands with Israel in the face of the airstrike carried out by the illegal paramilitary organization Hamas on the Israeli coastline, and that all kinds of support will be provided. Recently visited, the Eastern Mediterranean Gerald R. Ford had shipped a model aircraft carrier. Thursday, October 12th, at noon, the United States, together with the aircraft carrier that reached the Israel Defense Forces, publicly began to intervene in the war. On top of this, the United Kingdom also declared that it stands by Israel and stated that an aircraft carrier will be sent to support the Israeli army as soon as possible, just like the U.S. government. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan reacted to the governments of the two countries by stating that these supports of the United States and Britain will only cause the war to grow even more and prolong the process. Will there be any sanctions for NATO harboring differences of opinion about the Israel-Hamas war within its structure? Do you think the recent statements from Turkey, which has been trying to strengthen its relations with Israel in recent years, are an indication that President Erdogan will lead the Muslim coalition in the Middle East? Don't forget to state your ideas in the comments section and get the most up-to-date news by following us. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who criticized the military support for Israel with his remarks at the closing ceremony of the Turkey-Africa Business and Economic Forum, drew attention to the Gaza Strip. As of today, the first supplies for Gaza have been provided by Turkey, and the plane sent under the leadership of the Turkish Disaster and Emergency Management Presidency has reached El Arish Airport, he announced. Erdogan said that while countries such as Turkey, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and Egypt have started sending aid packages focused on medicines, canned food, clothing, and medical supplies, it is a critical mistake for the United States to provide weapons and ammunition support to Israel, calling on world states to exercise restraint. Recently, Aktürk, the spokesman of the Turkish Armed Forces, stated that the Turkish army is ready to support the Palestinian people if Erdogan approves. Turkey's first message of support to Palestine through the army has raised allegations about whether Turkey will send troops to the Gaza Strip in the near future. Do you think that the United States, the largest military power in NATO, will directly support Israel, but Turkey will confront the United States? Is it likely that the war in the Middle East will evolve into the Third World War as a result of the tension between the two countries? After this tension, which has caused great repercussions all over the world, President Erdogan stated that Foreign Minister of the Republic of Turkey, Hakan Fidan, will visit Egypt to continue support for Gaza. As of yesterday, the Rafah Gate, the only borderline between the Gaza Strip and Egypt, was opened in order to deliver support for Palestinian citizens. Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry, who was the first to share the decision to open the Rafah border crossing with the public, welcomed Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan at Cairo Airport a few hours ago. It was announced by President Erdogan that many names from the cabinet of the government of Turkey will visit Muslim states in the Middle East in the near future. During the statements they made on the first day of the war, many states such as Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Iraq, the United Arab Emirates, and Iran blamed the Israeli government for what happened. The statements of Budaydi, Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council, who claimed that the Palestinian Authority
В эфире криминальные новости. Это проект «Зона Х». Я, Карина Пашкова.